with Shelly on WAPN. On WAPN.
Good Friday morning. How are you this morning? I am great and ready for the weekend. Woohoo! This was a really fast week, though. And did you get everything done? I don't know if I feel like I got everything done. I would be cruising along. I'd get interrupted. I'd go 5 steps backwards. But I'm going to pull it all off this morning. I am, before I get off. I only work a couple hours on Friday. Well, I think I still work like 4 hours on Friday, but semi-retired. So that's kind of nice. But then that means errands. Now, today it is ucky gross outside. It is wet. I had these really cute shoes picked out. I had this out, and I was like, no. I'll be in puddles all day, and my feet will be sopping wet. So let's just go for the tennis shoes, go for some jeans. Let's go for it. My big plans for today I have a list of all my errands. And, you know, my husband hates to do errands because people he calls it shopping. I love my husband. I do. He goes, you've been shopping all day? No, I had 18 errands that had to be done. You know, fill up the car, stop at this store, pick up this from that, go to the pharmacy, go da. Those are errands where you're stopping, getting out of the car, running in and doing it, getting back in the car, running to the next. Yes. That's my day ahead of time. But I'm very thankful that I am healthy. I'm thankful that I have a vehicle. I'm thankful I have a raincoat, and I'm just going to go for it. So this Friday, if you see me out and about running around town, it's because I got a list of errands to do. And I was up early this morning praying, of course. And then I was making my list in my mind, and I kept on thinking, I know I forgot something. I forgot that I have to go to Taylor's today. Tim, I got him a Buffalo Bills shirt, and the sleeves were too long, so I had to drop that off, and I need it by today because we don't have a game this weekend. It's Monday night, people. It's hard when your team is doing so good because then they put you on prime time, which means we don't get any sleep. So, yeah, it's Monday night, so I hear the Giants did awesome last night. My son-in-law is a Giants fan, so that was last night. And just, football season. We love me some football. And we've been going to games. I know all the little people's games are like almost over. My granddaughter's cheerleading thing is almost over. And then she goes into traveling cheerleading. So, that's fun. So just a great time of year. I thought it was going to be more fallish today, just wettish. It's just wettish, but I hear that we're going to wake up to some cold weather for Florida over the weekend. Yeah, 60 in the morning, 62 in the morning. That is cold for me. So I hear that's going to happen over the weekend. Who knows? Tim says I have the dummy report. I don't feel like I have the dummy report, but Tim feels like I have the dummy report. And some stuff to go do over the weekend. You know, if you've got stuff going on in your ministry or you know of a ministry that's doing stuff, you can always send it over to me, WAPN@WAPN.net. Send me those flyers so that I can share with everybody that's around. So the things that are going on, let's talk about those. One of my favorite things to do with the kids for years and years and years and years. I don't have any little people right now. Otherwise, I would take them this weekend. But it's the fall carnival at Holly Hill Church of Christ. And it is just a fun thing. It's old school games like where there's sodas and you have to do the ring over it. And there's just all these fun like carnival games, but they're old school carnival games. And there's usually a bounce house. There's a cakewalk. I love a cakewalk. I used to love doing that when I was in elementary school and we would do that. So that's at Holly Hill Church Christ. And it's Sunday afternoon from 5 to 7. Free. It's a good time. I've always taken the kids there. Shout out to Holly Hill Church of Christ for doing this. So it's this Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. Revival is going on right now with one of my favorite pastors. Our Tuesday prayer line pastor, Pastor Hobbs, in his church is having revival right now in Crescent City. And then it's nightly from 7 p.m. And on Sunday, it finishes up at 10 a.m. So that's Abundant Harvest Ministry in Crescent City. And if you Google, it's really easy to find. You just make one turn and literally you're going to go for a while. The road is beautiful. I saw the most beautiful rainbow when I went. And they're such loving, caring people there at Harvest, Abundant Harvest. So that is Pastor Hobbs' church, and that's Revival, Revival, Revival. And that is going on right now, 7 p.m. nightly, and then ends on Sunday at 10 a.m. So those are just some things that people have sent me that are going on. That easy. Just send them over to me, WAPN at WAPN.net, and I love to share with the neighborhood. I know that there's pumpkin patches going on right now. I don't like normal pumpkins. I like the funky pumpkins. But there's pumpkin patches going on. I loved it when the grandkids were growing up and we would go do all those fun things. Now they're, teenagers and stuff. And it's just not so much fun doing it with your nanny. They like to go to the horror nights and all that fun stuff over in Orlando, but I'm not into that. I'm not into Halloween. I get the candy because I like to eat candy, but we don't do that anymore. And it's nice that the churches do the different events for the kids. So if your church has got something going on, please let me know, WAPN at WAPN.net. So how has your week been? Was it a great week? Did you accomplish everything you wanted to accomplish? I'm a big checker off a list person. I'm a sticky person. People always say, do you journal? No, I sticky. So every day, I always ask God, what are we going to do today? And some days we complete everything that God wants me to do. And some days we struggle. So yesterday I had great intentions of getting it done. Did I fall short? Yes, I did. But that's okay to fall short sometimes. God gives us an opportunity to make it up. He gives us an opportunity to pull it off. And so don't beat yourself up so much. I like to overbook myself. If you know that about me. I do overbook because I know that if I overbook, it puts me in a higher atmosphere of getting more stuff done. And if I pull it all off, great. If I don't, it's okay too. And so today, like I said, I'll be out running around doing some things, but I'm thankful to be able to run around and do some things. I'm thankful for, like I said, good health. I'm thankful for the things that God has done in my life this last year. I was talking to somebody yesterday about that. This time last year, I wasn't feeling that great. I had this infection that was just really rough on me. I'm not going to lie. It took everything I could to get up and come to work. But I kept showing up. And I know that every time I kept showing up, God was saying, I got you. I've got you. You keep doing what I've asked you to do, and I've got you. So fast forward a year, and here I am, and super healthy and living the best life ever. And Tim said the cutest thing to me last night. It just made me giggle. We've been married over 30 years, and I know I'm a lot, okay? I do know that I am a lot. And I get excited like a little kid, and, I am a lot. And so I said something to him, and he goes, well, it hasn't been so bad the last 10 years. And I said, well, thanks. And I thought about that when we were falling asleep, and it's so cute. He holds my hand while we're falling asleep. And I thought, we were raising kids for the first 20 years, and the last 10 years, we've got to have time for us. Now, we're still the nanny and pop that show up. We're still, helping kids when they need help and whatever. But it's been like just me and Tim, literally. Now, we've had some empty nesters going on. We've had kids stay at our house, not stay at our, but all in all. And, I wouldn't do life with anybody else but Tim. He makes me laugh. He makes me mad. He is so silly. Last night, he was taking this nickel and trying to flip it, and I was supposed to say heads or tail. And first time he said he won, of course. I said, you didn't even show it to me. So then he kept trying, and it kept going flying all over the house. And it just, the simplest little things make me smile. And you need to be happy in whatever choices you make. Find the good of it. You have to find the goodness of God. You have to find the favor. You have to find the willingness to participate and show up in life. And I try to do that every day, no matter what's happening. This week has been a software nightmare here at WAPN. At one point, I thought the computer was going out the front door. But then what would I do? Because then that would be our automation system, and I'd have to live here. But it was just and the whole time, I kept hearing human error. That was my dad's favorite saying it. And the more he would say human error, the more mad I would get. It was human error. I had somehow hit a period in the program, and it was just causing a problem. The littlest, simplest thing. But by that happening, I had to go through literally 9,000 files this week. And I got to remove stuff that needed to be removed. I got to tweak stuff that needed to be tweaked. And sometimes I just giggle and say, God added that period so that I would slow down, reevaluate, and redo. And I think about, when the time I deleted all the music and I kept hitting, redo, and nothing came up. And I kept hearing God say, well, you have 3 minutes. What are you doing in life that you need to reset, reboot, recreate, restructure? I don't know, but I feel like we need to redo something today. And so as I was sitting there and I was thinking about life and I was thinking about the goodness of God and stuff, maybe you need to redo a relationship. Maybe you need to reevaluate, your finances. Maybe you need to relook at how you're handling your employees or your employer or whoever it is. Maybe you need to recompromise on some stuff that you stood so strong that you were right and that's it and I'm not wrong, I'm it. Maybe you need to compromise and say, you know what, will you forgive me? I was way too stubborn in that situation. I was wrong. You were right. Can we reevaluate? And so maybe you need to redo some stuff, or maybe you need to reset your eating habits. I know that I fall short on that. I'm a cookie girl. I do really, really, really good. And then I can't live without cookies. And I'll eat cookies and cookies and cookies. And then I just get mad at myself. Well, this time of year, it's pumpkin pie. And I surprised Yvonne yesterday. There's these little baby bite pumpkin pies that we just love. And we haven't been able to find them for like the last 3 years. And I've tried making them, but I've made them bigger and blah, 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 blah. Well, I found them in the store the other day. And I didn't tell her. I wanted to send her a picture. And, but I said, nope, I'm going to bring them there yesterday. So I drove there yesterday, and I know she was crazy busy. She had funerals and all this stuff going on. I said, just close your eyes for a minute. Just close your eyes. And so she closed her eyes, and she put her hands out like I was hitting, and I said, nope, open them. And there they are. She said, where did you find it? We were so excited. We ate one little one. But, it was that moment in time that we froze everything else that was going on around us and just had that moment. We are so busy in life. We all have an agenda. We all have a list. We all have this we're doing, that doing. I'm encouraging you today to freeze that moment. Like when Tim was flipping that coin. Yes, it was silly, but it was just, we froze time. We froze reality. We froze what was going on around us and just giggled. When Bonnie and I had that bite of pumpkin pie, we froze time. We froze our businesses. We froze customers and everything and just enjoyed that bite. And it was one bite. But we get so busy in the hustle and bustle, especially going into this time of year. We're in October now. Holiday season, the hustle, the bustle, especially if you're in retail. One moment it's Halloween, the next minute you got a Christmas tree. You walk down one aisle and there's 3 seasons in one aisle. Stop and smell the roses. Stop and enjoy each part of it. Don't be such in a hurry that you forget. Like going to that football game or going on that hay ride or going for that walk or whatever it is. You don't have to be spending money. You could just go for a walk or go down to the river and just sit there and watch the water or the beautiful sunrise or sunset. We could all just slow down a little bit. And as you're slowing down, reflect on the goodness of God, of what he's done. I look around and I think, but God, but God, but God. I look at the studio and I remember when it was just ucky. I hated the studio before. It was dark and gloomy in here. And now it's bright and cheery. And I look at the floor, and we had this purple carpet that reminded me of a roller skating rink. And now we have this beautiful floor. And I'm thankful. So look around today and take a deep breath and take it all in and praise the Lord for where he has you today. Because he's done all of this for you. And don't take it for granted. Be thankful. Well, let's get our favor on and let's get this weekend going. God wants you to have favor in everything you do and everywhere you go. The more you're aware of his favor, the more you're going to see he is working in your life. He is working it out for you today. You're listening to WAPN 91.5 FM. It is Friday, October 10th, 2025. It is 78 out right now, and it was pouring down rain when I came into work with a low of 73. Madison 74 with a low of 63. Rain is going to be on and off all day. If you're out driving in it, remember everybody else else is driving in it. Slow your roll. And do not spray everybody with their puddles. I hate that. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday, Ashley and Michelle and Eloisa and everybody else celebrating a birthday, anniversary, whatever you're celebrating. Happy. Today is National Handbag Day. Well, that's one of my favorite days. I love a cute purse. Remember, Holly Hill Church of Christ this Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. Good old-fashioned fall festival, cakewalk, carnival-style games, old school style. I love it. It's right here in Holly Hill on Ridgewood. And then, of course, Revival with one of my favorite pastors, Pastor Hobbs, in Crescent City, nightly at 7 p.m. And on Sunday, they're ending it at 10 a.m. Why don't you go visit Crescent City, go see Abundant Harvest Ministry, say hey to Pastor Hobbs, and be an encouragement to him. We all have